Hello traders, Cory Mitchell here at TradeThatSwing.com, and this is your swing trading stock market outlook for the week of June 2nd. Each week I go through the same process. Just helps me assess how aggressively I'm going to be trading, what I want to be trading, where I want to be trading. And there are some watch lists, the current swing trading watch list. I'll be updating that early in the week, but there are some on there. The best swing trading stocks list for May, that'll also be getting updated early in the month. It gets updated every couple weeks. That's high momentum stocks. And there's some other ones you can check out here, just top performers over different time frames. So let's look at how the indices are doing. Overall uptrends in most of these indices. This is the QQQ, the NASDAQ 100. This is the NYSE Composite, the S&P 500, and the Russell 2000. So even the Russell 2000, we have overall higher swing highs, higher swing lows. A little bit of a stall out here recently, but hasn't turned into anything major yet. But overall uptrends going there. The Canadian index up at highs, broken right through. What I like to see is, so we had this choppy area, and you can see we've just rallied right back up into it, and we're holding there. And the NYSE Composite ran really far up into it, holding there. So that's good to see. If it had, bounced off of it and then started selling off again, that wouldn't be a good sign. But the fact that we got that high up there shows there's quite a bit of buying interest. I'm not into predictions so much. It's just, hey, conditions are good right now, so that's good enough for me to trade on the long side. Let's look at Bitcoin. It had this range here. This is a 2-day chart just to kind of capture the bigger context here. So we had this big choppy range, broke out. We had another little range down here. We broke out of that. So we had discussed that this was kind of a typical pullback amount. And then if we broke above this box and held, that was a good sign. So next area to watch was the all-time high. And what I like to see is ideally this breaks above this area and holds. That hasn't happened yet. And so right now, not of too much interest to me to buy in here. It'd probably be looking more if it comes down, test this box and holds and starts moving back up. Or if it doesn't hold, then it's this area that potentially becomes the next. And then it has to hold that area and bounce. So I'm always kind of looking for that confirmation. It's like, how does it act around a level? I'm not expecting price to do something at a certain level. It's more, does the price confirm something at a level? So if it comes down here and starts to bounce up, hey, that's great. And then if it drops back below, we get out, stopped out. So not of super interest to me here unless it moves back up and then we start holding above these highs. Gold moving actually pretty well. You can see a pretty complex pullback going on, so it definitely hasn't been as strong as the other indices have. Gold stocks making a nice little move up recently. But there's a lot of other stuff out there now. So a couple months ago, when all the indices were declining and gold stocks were going up, very interesting. That's where we can put a lot of focus on those little hot sectors. But now, if a gold stock pops up on my list, fine, I'll definitely trade it if it's acting well. But there's a lot of other stocks acting very well right now too. So a lot more competition out there. So gold's not of particular interest to me, but it's still acting okay. So if a price does come, or a stock does come up in the gold sector, that's fine. Let's look at the market health indicators. This is an S&P 500 chart, and these indicators kind of look at what's going on under the hood. Volume, not important to me at the moment. This is rate of change per day, so it's just the percentage movement of the S&P 500. And uptrends are characterized by lower volatility, downtrends, turning points characterized by high volatility. You can see we have leveled off quite a bit. We're not having really big down days like we were having before. and that's more characteristic of an uptrend. Advanced decline line, it's way up here at its all-time highs, while the S&P is just below. This is a positive divergence. Quite often, not always, this will lead to the S&P hitting its all-time highs within relatively short, a few weeks. Yeah, so it's acting well. It's way up there and acting strongly. This is upside volume versus total volume. Nothing going on here for quite a long time, but our last signal was the up one way back here, and that was 90% upside, way more than 90% upside volume, and that just means of all the volume that occurred that day, I believe that day was 98% of that volume occurred in stocks that moved to the upside. So a really big, huge influx into the market, extremely biased to the upside on that day. And the flip side of that would be when we get a 10% downside day. We haven't had any of those. 10% upside, which would be 90% downside volume. This is the percent of stocks above their 50-day moving average. 70% of S&P 500 stocks above their 50-day. 65% of all U.S. stocks above their 50-day moving average. Generally much easier to make money on the long side when most stocks are moving up, and right now that is the case. So what I'm doing right now, well, continuing to swing trade stocks on the long side. Bitcoin not of interest just at this moment, at this particular price point. It either needs to move up and hold or pull back a bit more, see how it acts at those lower levels. Gold stocks may be a possibility, but a lot of other things moving well. And then, of course, there's always day trading. Day trading gives us, action every day, whereas the swing trading is generally more periods of activity, which we have right now, and then we have periods of inactivity, where, there might be not much going on. So kind of some different trading elements going on there, and they might suit people who have different personalities better. So that is your weekly outlook for stocks. Happy trading out there.